Yes, welcome my viewers, loyal viewers and subscribers to the Jamaica Young Police channel. This is part two, of our Chief Justice Brian Sykes, the Clansman judge. You know, so we continue the journey. You understand to show you corrupt, you know, um, this judges. You understand what I'm saying? The way that he had treated the witness, the main witness. That in America, most of the time, for the Uncle Sam to bring down any notorious gang. If you go back to all of the mobsters, them, the Irish mob, and even Whitey Bulger that they killed in prison last year, the transfer man, they said that it's Uncle Sam that did it. You understand? And but two men were arrested and charged, right? So that's how conspiracy theories work. You understand? So you have to have somebody who is within the organization to give evidence against the others. But apparently, Chief Justice Brian Sykes, the Clansman judge, is offended that informer, how a farmer badman turned informer now and come and rat out things that black man have been doing. You understand? But what he's doing, is nothing short than what he has been tasked to do by his puppet master. 'Cause you have to understand that he owes his appointment to Peter Phillips, to Dr. Peter Phillips, the godfather of the Clansman gang. So I wanted to continue to listen what this learned person, you understand, is saying about what's going on with the trial and what to expect and what not to expect. But I'll tell you, that everyone from this case will be exonerated. Because he's going to acquit all of them. His behavior is similar to what Judith Pusey did in Colonel Spencer's case. And if those of you who have good memory that about Colonel Spencer, Colonel Spencer is the former politician who the Cubans. The mind of Cuba is a third world country to like Jamaica, but the difference with the Cubans and the Jamaicans, the Cubans produce things, they invent things. In Jamaica, we don't do anything. The only right you have in Jamaica is to be a criminal. You understand? That's the only right. We don't invent anything. All our inventors or anything like that, they are from Jamaica, but they don't invent things in Jamaica because the Jamaican mindset is totally different. You understand? And Colonel Spencer was a guy that he stole millions of dollars from the Jamaican people's coffers, and he was arrested and charged. And the way the judge Judith Pusey treated the prosecutor, you understand? You would think that the prosecutor was the defense, in which the judge supposed to be the arbiter of the truth. You understand? But she already show her hand, just like how so it's the same behavior, modus operandi that Judith Pusey has displayed is the same thing that we see Justice Brian Sykes is doing. So they say that we know that the judges in Jamaica is on the take. You understand? Some of them, not all of them, just like how you have corrupt police and you understand, and corruption everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? So we know that Brian Sykes and others, we know that people within the judiciary in Jamaica is on the take. So I want you to listen to what this person is saying about about the Clansman judge. So you listen and you decide.
And because of Sykes, all these virtually all 31 members who are on trial are eventually going to be released. They may hold back maybe 3 or 4 token ones, and these token ones that they hold back will be just on some little minor issue where they get a 3 or 4 years. So I can tell you that now, because the people within this clique, I'll refer to as brain, because they're using Sykes to throw out every evidence, it makes the lawyers, the defense lawyers, have very little work to do. Once the system brain throws out the evidence, this corrupt clique throws out the evidence, every evidence that the police took 3 years, they risk their very lives. Because these policemen went undercover and went right to the belly of the beast, pretending to be family members. They could have been shot and killed and their head put on posts. And they went to that length and got the information. They got everything. And let me put it in perspective, We must remember that, let's take Al Capone in the United States. What convicted Al Capone? One book. One accounts book, one accounts ledger, and the person who wrote up the ledger. That's all it took to send the biggest criminal in the 1930s to prison. Now, let's go to the 1980s. We might remember John Gotti. John Gotti, one of the biggest crime lords in New York. What caused him to be convicted? One man, one single one of his lieutenants who decided to turn against him. One. And based on just that alone, he was convicted. As a matter of fact, in the United States, once one of the top lieutenants or anybody within a certain criminal organization comes up and goes on the stand, you are doomed. Because whatever the person who was in your group says, as far as the US government is concerned, you come from river bottom and say shark down there, because you come from among them. And that is how the British legal system goes. That's how the Canadian legal system goes. That's how German legal system is. As a matter of fact, that's how every decent country legal system goes. But this banana republic we have here, where the gunmen, the most bloodthirsty criminals, have hijacked members of this clique of corrupt judiciary, corrupt members of the Jamaican judiciary. It is virtually impossible that any of these men will be will be convicted. Because notice, here's one point to take into consideration. Remember that none of these 31 persons on trial had hired any top lawyer. Why should they hire a top lawyer? It doesn't make no sense. Once you have members of the clique in your pocket, once members of the clique are in your pocket, you don't need a top lawyer. You need just any little cheap man off the street can come and sit down there. And once the judge, once members of the clique throws out the painstakingly gathered evidence, once that evidence is thrown out, all the lawyer has to do is stand up and say, I'm making a no-case submission, you haven't got any evidence, so you've got to release the accused. And that's all is going to happen because members of this clique are using psychs to hoodwink the prosecution, to stultify the prosecution's case and throw out every evidence, causing no case submissions to be made for every single convict, or sorry, for every single accused. Now, why is this happening, or how it happens? Let me tell you, there's a loophole. There's a loophole. You see, when the legislation was being made, there was no way anybody thought of what are the criteria will be used to judge whether a man is a member of a gang. How you going to become a member of a gang? Nobody knows. In fact, known criminal was shown to have worked with the gang, interacted with the gang in criminal activities. And members of this clique use psychs to tell the proceedings that, look, The man might interact with the gang and he might do all kind of things with the gang, but that don't prove him as a gang member. He might be just what do you call it though? Just a soldier of fortune. He might be just stay with them for a little one act. In other words, he was a mercenary. So if man can be shown to be a total criminal, show it to be, he have a long criminal history, and that he interacts with the gang and does things with the gang, and you said that still doesn't prove he's a gang member, and this clique is saying, this clique of corrupt members of the judicial system is saying that that is not proof he's a gang member. He might be just a mercenary acting with the gang, but that don't prove he's a gang member. How is that possible? Now you can see that nothing that the prosecution can present will ever be sufficient to convict any of these people. Remember also, there has been some intimidation. The police have been intimidated. Imagine, can you believe in a civilized country with a civilized, uncorrupt judicial system where a prosecution bring a case with a member of a certain group who knows everything about that group and comes to testify for it? And can you believe that members of the corrupt clique, of this judicial clique, is going to look at the police and say, why did you not arrest the man who come to give testimony against those men? This is a witness for the prosecution and you want him to be arrested? Now, if that is intimidation, now why are you sending the case in that direction? Why would anybody, members of that, any members of an uncorrupt judiciary, be sending that kind of message? How can they be sending that kind of message? Now, this goes to show that something is wrong with our judiciary. And a lot of them are on the payroll of the bloodthirsty gang members. Now, I go further. Now, how can we determine a gang member if it's not a group of men who act together for a common cause? And obviously, even if you're not a criminal and you're not a gang member, but you act with them for a common cause of criminality, then obviously you are a gang member. Because so far, none of these 31 persons have been proven to be gang members so far. Not one. And the evidence that can prove it are not sufficient, because there will never be sufficient evidence to prove it. Because here is what I think what this man is looking for is maybe an ID. Each of gang members is supposed to carry an ID, which with his name, his position, his rank, and so on, to show that he's a gang member. Maybe contain his TRN and his NIS number and some other finer details. And I guess that is what the court is looking for. And failure to present those identification cards, they are not going to think that any of these men are members of a gang. But hold on. Why would gang members walk around with IDs giving their affiliation to a gang? As a matter of fact, it gets so weird, because in all honesty, if these IDs were to be presented, for example, these IDs were to be presented showing each gang, each person's members' affiliation to a gang, guess what would happen? The courts itself, the members of this clique, would have still shown it out and said, listen, we don't have no record of this. We don't know if this is a forgery, and it could be a forgery, and therefore it should go. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever, even if it's their DNA on it, that this clique will not show out. Because The sort of psychs they're using, believe me, man, this clique is really working. Now,
Yeah, so as usual, most people, attention span is like goldfishes. So you have to make it short. You understand what I'm saying? But as you have listened, you and based on what we have read, during the trial that is going on, we have seen that this Clansman judge, Brian Sykes, he has done everything. His behavior, is consistent, just like um, Justice Judith Pusey in Current Spencer's case, acting like a defense judge, not even counsel, judge. You understand? A judge supposed to be the arbiter of the truth, but he already, taking side, because what he has been doing, is dissuading. That's what he has done, is dissuading future witnesses, from testifying against the criminals. Them, you understand? So what is his agenda? His agenda is to protect the criminals. Remember, this is the same judge, who freed um, the, 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 the big time gangster, them, the King Valley gangsters, You understand? All of them. You understand? And it is rumor that millions of dollars pass through hands, You understand? And reach to the Chief Justice. So we know that our judges in Jamaica are for sale. You understand? Because the girl, Jada Sheevers, is the one that exposed our judges, to show you that, that these people are on the thief. We know that with Current Spencer's case, you understand, that Judith Pusey, she's beholden, to the PNP LGBTQ plus party. You understand? But what Brian Sykes has done, knowingly and maliciously, you know, use threatening words and hostility to dissuade the witness, C4 from testifying against Blackman and his cronies, only goes to show you the depth of this man's connection to the gang. Because I have never read any judge being hostile to the prosecution witness in that fashion. You understand? Police officer risk their life, pretending to be family member to gather evidence, and the judge threw it out. You understand? Imagine even the bookkeeper evidence, the judge threw it out, saying doesn't believe. You understand? Just tell us straight up that, look, I am a member of the PNP LGBTQ plus party because I owe my seat right here on the bench by Dr. Phillips because, he's the one who started the ball rolling and get the other judges to stand in solidarity with me and shut down the court and force the Prime Minister St. Andrew Holiness to put me up here. So I cannot let down my handlers. You understand? Imagine even and the judge, is asking, what is a gang member? No, even that is astonishing. That goes to show you the depth in the man of this man, depraved mind and conscience. The man don't even hide it. Even the dog know gangs. You understand? Because the dogs in the ghetto, it's when they see the gang members, them no bark, them look spacey eyed, because they don't want to get shot, And this man, I say, how this man knows people in a gang. If everybody acting in concert and doing the same thing, in the gang and you plan and do things, it's just simple as that. But, to show you that this man is very, very corrupt. But you have to understand, that the judiciary in Jamaica is for sale. And so we have, a judge, you understand, for sale. How we're going to fix it. How they're going to fix this in Jamaica. God, because Jamaica is a criminal's paradise and it's a corrupt place. But we know that our judges is for sale. We know that. So, the Don from the Kings Valley gang in Westmoreland was killed. He bore so much money that he had spent for him to be acquitted of all the charges. And see, you was killed the other day. See a man that says a farmer. You understand? So, that's how it is in Jamaica. Judges are sealed. Yes, I remember back in the days when judges were people with impeccable character, but not anymore, sir. Just put a black man up there and them thing, and the big far seal style is there. You understand? Um, so we're just gonna leave it here. So stay tuned, part three. Boy, part three is gonna be, trust me, it's gonna be riveting. You understand? Just prepare for it. All the best to you, and one love. Peace.